Hello everyone out there in YouTube land. My name is Chris and we are in beautiful sunny Southern California. It's actually really rainy and muggy right now, which is great because California has been in such a drought this year. We really need all the water we can get. But anyway, welcome to my new channel. It's called PoorMan'sBonsai. And to give you a little background about myself involving bonsai, I've only been into it for about a year and a half, so I'm very much a beginner, just to make that very clear right off the bat. I first got into bonsai about a year and a half ago when my wife and I got married. We went on our honeymoon. We drove up the coast of California up to Big Sur, and along the way we stopped at various nurseries in LA, Morro Bay, different towns on the way up the coast, and just had a fun time finding plants to decorate our home with. And at one of the nurseries we went to in Morro Bay, they had a bonsai section. We went to this nursery twice, on our way up and our way back down. They had a bonsai section. They had some cool ficuses and some other plants. And I thought that might be a cool hobby to get into. Well, on our way back down, we went back to that nursery again, and my wife had found this little Chinese elm that was not displayed the first time we went. She showed it to me and I fell in love with it. When I was a kid, we had a Chinese elm in our backyard that I loved, and so I fell in love with this little tree, and I thought, okay, I'm going to get into bonsai. I believe it was about $30, and I thought, okay, you know, it's our honeymoon, we could spend a little bit, I'll buy the tree. So after we got back from our honeymoon, I thought, okay, I'm going to get into this hobby, started researching it. We went to a few different bonsai nurseries in LA and a few others in the area, and I started realizing, wow, this could be a pretty pricey hobby. So I started thinking, what can I do to stay in the hobby but not go broke doing it and not having a lot of money to spend on it? How can I still enjoy the hobby and acquire new plants and be able to work with plants and be able to afford to do it throughout at least this stage of my life where I just don't have the kind of money to spend on a bonsai? So what I started doing was going to more general plant nurseries and finding plants that, at least in my eyes, had a lot of character. Maybe the trunk of a certain bush or tree that I saw just really spoke to me and had a lot of character. And most importantly, I was looking for stuff that I could afford. And so with this channel, that's kind of what I wanted to do with it, is make it, you know, kind of document this journey that I'm on of finding really affordable, budget-friendly, poor man's trees, bushes, plants that can be turned into bonsai, or at least have the appearance of bonsai or miniature landscapes. So I'm going to be sharing the little knowledge that I have, and I would greatly appreciate any knowledge you guys could share in the comments and messages. The great thing about the internet and YouTube and all that is that any hobby can have such an extended community throughout the world rather than just people in your area to connect with. And so I'm excited and eager to join in the kind of bonsai community that is on YouTube and to be able to learn and share from each other. And I'm glad you guys are joining me on this journey. In a little bit, I'll show you some examples of really budget-friendly bonsai that I've created, and I'll go over the prices, and in future videos I'll go over projects that I'm working on and show you some things that I'm working on and how I would trim things, and again, any feedback you guys have that can help me, it's greatly appreciated. And the best thing of all, we're going to be looking into things that just about anyone can afford. So please continue to join me. I hope to post videos regularly, and that is it. Thank you for joining me on Poor Man's Bonsai. So this right here is a geranium that obviously the rain has done a number to the flowers, but this is a geranium I bought for $3 with a pot that I bought at this old pottery store in the town over from me for also $3 or $4. So basically we're looking at about $7 invested into this. I mean, a few cents for the soil. But I've seen some amazing geranium bonsais on the internet, and so I thought, well, it'd be fun to find one that maybe had some potential. And this was at a little nursery down the street from my house, and it I just thought it was a really cool structure. It's kind of going up, the the stalk kind of goes up and angles back towards me. I look at this as the front, and I didn't do anything to this. This is exactly how I bought it style-wise, and the flowers weren't bloomed yet, but they started blooming a couple days ago, and it's really popping, and it transplanted well into this pot. We're in the middle of September. I transplanted it about 2 weeks ago into this pot, and it's doing great. And basically, this is not originally a bonsai pot, but in my Dremel, which I don't know is even the best tool to use, but I drilled a hole in the bottom of this so that it drains well. And I thought it made a cool little unique, kind of plain but beautiful bonsai pot. So this is my geranium bonsai that I've really enjoyed looking at the last couple of weeks. So to kind of reiterate again, I am by no means an expert, and one of the things that I'm kind of trying to learn right now is how to style a tree based off maybe how it already looks when I bought it. And so I'm definitely learning. I haven't even really figured out what I'm doing with this, but this is a rosemary that I bought that was very just full, but also extremely root bound, and desperately needed to be repotted because it was like holding no water. It was very root bound, and in fact the roots, when I picked up the pot from the nursery, the roots were way out of the pot and growing like different directions through the weed guard and everything. But yeah, so I repotted it into this cool bonsai pot and wired it a little bit, but for a couple weeks it didn't look so hot, but all the greenery came back on the ends here, and it's starting to rebud in a lot of areas. But this was I'm not sure how much I bought the pot for. It was probably maybe a $7 pot at this bonsai nursery a couple towns away that I go to every once in a while, and the tree was $4. So we're looking at maybe $10 to $15 for this whole setup. And I really like this guy. It's kind of cool looking. Rosemary naturally gets very twisty, turny stumps and trunks and branches, and so I've had fun when I repotted it, and I think I'll have fun in the future as it starts developing more and being able to style it in different ways. So if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know, because like I said, I just kind of trimmed up a lot of it and trimmed up a lot of ugly stuff and just kind of was left with this and not really sure where to go from here. So let me know. So this right here is a succulent. I've heard some people say that succulents aren't real bonsai, but I mean, I think they're cool, and with most hobbies and with most things, especially regarding plants and gardening, it's all about what you find enjoyment in, what you think is beautiful. And I happen to think this is really cool. This is one of those what are they called, hobbit plants, hobbit succulents, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's what it's called. But I bought it in a bigger clump. It had another big stalk that I have also in a bonsai pot. And succulents are awesome because for a beginner like me, you can feel very confident in transplanting it and not worrying about it croaking, because I did this and I transplanted it into this cool little pot in the dead of summer and had zero bad effects from that. So this guy I think is really cool, and he's got a cool branch structure here, and he's already budding in lots of different areas, and I think it'll develop throughout the years into something pretty neat looking, kind of alien like, but still I just think it's cool looking. I find a lot of enjoyment in looking at this guy, and like I said, I have another one that's bigger that I was able to break off of this and put it in a pot as well that has more of a fuller tree structure. But yeah, so there's that. I definitely think you can do some really cool bonsai out of succulents. I've seen some amazing jade ones, or elephant bush, and others. So anyway, so there's that succulent bonsai.